Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Libra July 2020 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, first thing up is, well, Mars will be in Aries, so the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this may manifest in a certain that could be contentious, acrimonious situations with a significant other or grandmother, even. It could just be others in general, partnership situation, business partnership situation. Sometimes it can be physical confrontations. We are talking about Mars and then an Aries, and it could be very volatile, explosive energy. But it could also be on a positive note, taking a lot of aggression, aggressive, assertive action in legal matters, dealing with open adversaries. It could be dealing with your relationships at this time. It could also be a time to where a lot of energy and vitality may be injected into an Aries form of competition. It could be something combative, like combative sport, like judo or boxing or wrestling. So anything that could be Aries related, maybe something with welding, something that is connected with fire. And also, too, this is where, you're talking about, Aries, of course, and Mars and Aries could be very exceptionally action oriented. So you're going to see, you might experience a lot of action and activity in seventh house matters such as legalities, dealing with the open adversaries, your relationships at this time, and in doing things for others, perhaps more so than usual. So, anyway, next thing up. Well, Jupiter will be in Capricorn still, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could be very fortuitous for perhaps a business out of the home and just home related matters in general. It could be doing something Capricorn related, going back to business or doing something connected with politics or the government or accounting in the home, or just maybe it could be very auspicious for things that are planned, that are home related, but that are very planned and premeditated. Since we're talking about Capricorn energy, it could be a time where you might decide to expand the home, such as a partition, but at the same time, as I've stated in previous videos, Jupiter, though strongly benign and benevolent, could be very paradoxical. It can also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. In some cases, this might enlarge and expand responsibilities in the home life or to that latter part of your life if you're not in it, as far as planning for it, maybe dealing with the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, maybe in terms of your traditions. It could also be where you may be exuberantly expressing some Capricorn qualities you may have at the core, such as being structured and disciplined, responsible, ambitious, being very premeditative, doing things with maturity, anything that and just and showing really a lot of pragmatism and practicality. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is, well, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, or at least for almost the entire month. So the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this can manifest in a number of ways. You might find yourself taking care of a sickly or debilitated home family member. It may be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, or somebody that you simply it could be you feel close to home with, or a person that may be prominent that end or latter part of your life. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings, and it may be causing you to feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. You might be dealing with certain restrictions and limitations in your home and your family life. There may be some despondency in that area at this time. And it could also be a time too where this could manifest in very laborious work as far as your planning for the end or that latter part of your life if you're not in it. Or it could also be, Saturn can also be about fears and what can put us in a state of trepidation. Now, it could be just maybe getting in touch with who you are at the core, or maybe even going into trying to dig into your roots, your ancestry at this time. Maybe you're afraid of what you might find, for whatever reason. And also remember, the fourth house could be connected with the unconscious. So there might be some unconscious fears that you might be having to contend with at this time. And it could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the career, the ambitions, or getting or having structure and discipline, or even consistency, or even just being more adult and mature regarding matters. So those are some ways that this could pan out. It could also be a time too where older people might figure more prominently in your home life, and it could also be about perhaps Saturn-like traditions. It could be or laborious work connected with that, with Capricorn-like traditions. It could be something like for something with maybe information technology, or going to some computer expo, or something with accounting, or not necessarily accounting, but something with business or government. It could be going to some political or government venue that might be tied into your traditions. So anyway, well, next thing up, Uranus will still be in Taurus, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. Some cases, this could be about really digging. It could be a time where you might be using the computer or internet to do a lot of deep research at this time, maybe more so than usual. You might be injecting some ingenuity and originality into something 8th house related, such as the astrology or the occult or supernatural. If you're an astrologer, you might be doing something astrological that might be very new and unique and original. Could also be a time where you might be experiencing some unpredictable or very spontaneous crisis situation, or it could even be an inheritance that could be unpredictable in terms of the amount. It could, some cases it might manifest in getting a lot more than what you intended in inheritance, or maybe a lot less. And a lot of that, of course, could be predicated and dependent on aspects that are made to points in your chart. Say a sextile or trine to your natal Jupiter, it might be very auspicious, and you might wind up getting a lot more than what you anticipated. Or it could, if it goes, let's say, if it's an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn, or even Jupiter, might be a lot less than what you originally had anticipated. It could also be about at this time as well, where financial fluctuations might figure prominently in a shared resources situation. You might be trying to use some ingenuity as far as financial ingenuity in terms of a situation, maybe to help, maybe to show more monetary support. And also you might be experiencing a lot of fluctuation in terms of receiving. It could be emotional, monetary, or moral support at this time. It could, some cases, I think it could manifest in Taurus friendships. They could be Taurus Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus characteristics. Might figure more prominently in a shared resources situation, moral, emotional, monetary support, or maybe helping you make some kind of major change or transformation, or dealing with a crisis situation at this time. It could also be some unanticipated, unpredictable activity, maybe going on, maybe with your credit card at this time. Somebody maybe using it fraudulently as an example. So just be careful at this time, Libra. Well, next thing up, Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, you might find yourself getting involved with some kind of Neptune/Pisces type of employment. It could be something with poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, something connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, working with illusion, which could be, as an example, working as a magician. Now, you might also be dealing with some kind of nebulous or unclear health-related issue, or it could be something Neptune Pisces related, such as something with the feet, the toes, the lymphatic system. It could even be, you might be a little more susceptible to this coronavirus going around, so be careful at this time, because Neptune, it can be connected with diseases, and of course Pisces can be associated with one's debilitations that can't be eradicated or don't have a cure. You might also at this time as well show a lot of self-sacrificing energy as far as service to others, and even toward an aunt or uncle. In some cases, you might be dealing with some imagined worries at this time, more so than usual. Libra, hold on a moment, people. And remember, when we're talking about Neptune energy, where it's placed in the chart, whether it's natal or transit, it could indicate where we may have that tendency or proclivity to daydream or fantasize as opposed to actually taking action. And the fact we're talking about Neptune in the sixth house being emphasized and highlighted, this is a time where you might feel more like daydreaming or fantasizing, or you might be more lethargic than usual at your workplace, or daydreaming and fantasizing in terms of working as opposed to actually doing it or performing services for others, and maybe even taking care of your health at this time. So anyway, well, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, in some cases, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. This could be about the actual literal death of a home or family member, someone you feel close to home with. It might be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. You might be dealing with more, it might be some criminal activity that may be directed at you, or stalkers might be causing maybe difficulties with emotional security at this time. There might be a need to transform the home at this time, whether it might be through remodeling or renovation or what have you. And remember that Pluto can also be associated with viruses. Again, you know that most of you know that there is the coronavirus pandemic going on. So you might be experiencing where a home or family member or someone you feel close to home with might be more susceptible to, there might be some susceptibility toward getting this coronavirus at this time. So it's just something to be wary of. And you might be expressing Plutonian like traditions at this time. It could be something connected with the occult or supernatural. The occult can include astrology, or something with transformation. It could be like recycling, and anything that could be Pluto related. Now, another thing too is that it might be a period where you might find yourself digging deep into your ancestry and your roots, doing up deep research, whether it might be going online or what have you. So those are some ways that this could manifest and pan out. And also remember, people, that Pluto in astrology can indicate where we might we're anticipating infallibility. And since we're talking about the fourth house, it could be a time where one may experience where they're expecting, or I should say anticipating, infallibility from the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, home family members in general, and people that you may feel close to home with. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.